Hey everyone, welcome back. It is the Purpose Department podcast again, and it's the new year, and today we have another great guest on today, so I'd just like to welcome Matt, and Dad, how would you take it away?
Sounds good. You cut me off. I was supposed to introduce him.
Not too late.
Wow, bro. Those are fighting words. We just got started on the pod, and you're already taking my job. Well, you know what? That means I can just go like this, and you can run the whole thing, which you'd probably enjoy that. So, no. But anyway, what's going on, everybody? Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
We're working on a tussle right now. And as you can see, bro, what do you think?
New merch? I love it.
Yeah, new merch. We talked about it last episode. Guys, go ahead and visit purposedepartment.com, and you can get yourself some swag and all those different things. So it's going to be super cool. But really, really excited for this episode. And of course, this guest that we have with us today, my dear friend. His name is Mat Gonzales. I actually work with him here in this office, in our office space. So we share kind of the same floor, all those different things. We got to meet and all that good stuff. But hey, what's going on, Matt? How are you doing?
Man, thanks guys so much for having me on here. I've been super excited. We've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, I know. We really have.
Yeah. So great. I'm so, it's such an honor, to be honest with you. I mean, to see father and son and truly kicking this off. I'm excited about this.
Dude, it's so good. I am super pumped that you're here. I am fighting the urge though, because with what you're wearing, I get it. You're representing, your birds.
Listen, birds of a feather flock together. Come on.
No, they don't. No, Eagles kill Seahawks.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
hey.
We got better colors.
Okay.
I mean,
whoa, better colors. Okay.
What do you think about that Kelly green though?
That Kelly green is where it's at. Same as you always rock out the Seahawks gear. So I'm praying for you guys.
Oh,
geez, what a craziness that we've got so far. This whole season's been nuts, but you got your Hawks gear on. We're gonna have to represent. I was telling Matt earlier before we started this that I was like, I've got 3 birds I can show you, but this will probably be the cleanest one.
Ouch! Ouch!
So,
but
anyway,
it's just the wrong bird,
dude. It's not. Oh,
yeah,
4. We got 4. There it is. That's a Kelly green right there, baby.
Right
so,
See, and here's the thing. This
Eagles.
was not even. We didn't say anything about, hey, I'm wearing this. I'm not. It wasn't rehearsed. Nothing.
No, but this is how we roll, man.
That's right.
We got to represent, dude. We bleed green. Yours is just a little bit more.
There's
toxic.
a lot of birds in here. Yeah. That's all we can say. There's a lot of birds.
Oh man, my immature mind. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of birds. All right, 1, 2, no, okay, all right. But Matt, been blessed to meet you, man. I remember when I, being here at our office space, right at Spaces. I remember talking about, I was like, man, I want to do a networking thing. I want to get some people together. Kind of ran through some obstacles and challenges and just trying to work through a whole bunch of stuff. But then got introduced to you and it was like, dude, kind of really just hit it off.
Yeah, from day one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the cool thing about the spaces that we're in.
Yeah.
That we're able to meet individual people, creative minds, and just being able to, that's the kind of workspace that I have to be in.
Yeah.
Something that kind of puts my back against the wall, something that makes me go out there and think creatively and do it. I mean, you've been such a big blessing in my life, to showing up every day with your amazing face and
you hear
just
that, son?
out there. Yeah. I mean, see, it's the new year, so we have to be out there and doing and pumping each other up. But no, just that everyday text message that we have going on, to meeting you, Jaiden. I mean, I think, honestly, I know this is getting sidetracked, but I think God's got a lot of big things ahead of you, man. I think that you have a pathway, and I really felt it today, that God's got something for you, bro.
Thanks.
And I know it. I know that you're a smart kid. You're going to be doing big things, man. So that was on my heart today, and I just wanted to tell you.
Thanks.
But I appreciate all the fun times that we have, and there's going to be a lot of great things.
And we've only just gotten started.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the reality. I came in, tell everybody a little bit about what you do. So.
Oh yeah.
Wait, before that,
what?
I have my question.
Oh,
let's do it.
All right, go for it.
Yeah. Wait. So, pick your dream team Seahawks. Like you can pick like quarterback and like O-line from like each year, and like pick like your dream team Seahawks that you'd have right now.
Past, present, or
past, present. Yeah.
Okay. Well, sad thing is, in the last 10, 15 years, we really haven't had an O-line. So anything would be better than that. At wide receiver, I would still take DK, Tyler. I would do, of course, Steve Largent, bring Steve Largent back. And, we got, everybody from Walter Jones, I would have in there, which is our Hall of Famer, Hutchinson. Would love to have him up there. I would love to have Russell Wilson back. Prime Russell Wilson, where Russell Wilson was, not just thinking about himself, but that rah, we can do this, because I think that there's not a better deep ball thrower that we've seen. Running backs, Marshawn Lynch, have him at that. Fullback, I would bring back Max Strong, put him at a fullback, because we don't do that fullback, thing in there. But Steve Largent, if you didn't know this, one of the things that Steve Largent, he never wore gloves. So back in a day where, is a different type of a game, brutal, and not to wear gloves, and imagine them now, defense, Legion of Boom. You can't go wrong with our boy Walter Thurman.
I know, that's pretty cool. We got the opportunity. We both know Walter Thurman. Yeah. So that's pretty sick. I think it's pretty cool.
Put a prime Dave DeRocher on there.
Yeah.
Offensive line. Yeah. But Legion of Boom, have Legion of Boom back there. I think we got some young cats right now, that the Reek Woolen and Witherspoon, I think they're going to be special. I really do. And linebacker, good old KJ Wright and Cam Chancellor and all them. So I think that's my thing.
There you go.
We're not going to get beat, and we'll have 2 Super Bowls.
Hey, sounds good, man. My biggest hope for you guys is you guys get your home field stuff back in check, dude. Dude, that was like the place to be feared. Like, no one wanted to play in Seattle, and like especially this season. Yeah, it's been nuts.
Well, the false starts. I mean, we're known for creating the false starts, and there. I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but I mean, it is deafening. Yeah. When you go into Lumen Field. Mm-hmm. It's something different. It's special when you go in there, and to see all those people and the excitement. And it doesn't matter if a Seattle team's in last place, they're rocking. Yeah. I mean, it is a special place to go to,
Yeah. I can believe it. I mean, you guys have got a pretty cool fan base. I mean, Eagles, we've got our own troubles with our fan base.
Oh, they're hardcore, man.
Oh, they're hardcore, just like you guys would be.
Win or lose, we still riot, no matter what.
Win or lose, we still riot. Right? Win or lose, we will still snowball Santa.
Right. Hey, you guys got Kevin Hart, Mike Trout that loves you guys.
Dude, I mean, Bradley Cooper. I'll take Bradley Cooper all day.
Oh, yeah. That was so funny seeing him at that.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with having the raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy as a fan of your team, so I'll take it any day. Yeah.
Dude, that was like probably the most in-depth someone's ever gone on a question. That's awesome.
Well, I know because we get to talk about football. We actually don't really talk about football too much, so this is great.
Best conversation.
We're talking playoffs. We're talking playoffs. I mean, it's heated right now.
Dude, everything's heated. So we'll see how it all pans out. Hoping New Orleans is good to at least one of us or
have one bird in there, right?
Exactly.
Hopefully.
Exactly. So Matt, tell us a little bit more than just about yourself, man. Your awesome bride, all that good stuff. Yeah.
Oh man, she's the best part of me. We've been together for over 20 years, and she keeps me grounded. Being an entrepreneur, that mindset, because it truly is a mindset, right? Like everything that you go and do, like you can't do something without having it in the brain first. And we're kind of messed up if you think about that. Like being an entrepreneur, right? You're crazy. You're taking a lot of risks, and hopefully there's great rewards to come to it. So my wife Angelica is just the most amazing part of my life besides God. And it's just been an amazing ride with her. I'm excited. This new year, it's about planning and moving forward and getting great things done. Her just being behind me and give me that little rah, you can do this. In the beginning, it was a little sketch, I'm not going to lie to you. Like she was nervous, the hours that I have to put in and all that kind of stuff. But, right now we have 2 amazing businesses that we do. And we're doing it together. That is honestly, I can't think of anything better.
Right.
Honestly, to come out and to be with somebody and fight this battle with somebody that you love so much and a passion. And I have no fear. If tomorrow comes and I don't have these businesses, I still have my wife, so it's taken me a while to get to that process.
Yeah.
But it's a great feeling now.
Yeah.
Doing that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's definitely like really cool because I've even like seen you just like whenever we're around you. Mm-hmm. It's like really cool just to like kind of see you two's like relationship and how it kind of like all works together with your businesses. It's really awesome. And I just wish that more people could see things like that and kind of like notice like, hey, if that works, maybe this can work too, and just not be afraid of kind of like taking more steps. And I've seen my dad and my mom take steps too, and it's just absolutely insane. I'm just like, I just wish more people would kind of like notice it and just see like, okay, well, if those two people are like doing this, then maybe I can go do that too. Like maybe I won't have to be so like skeptical of everything. So I don't know. It's just really cool though.
What? Go ahead.
Sorry about that. I think for you, Jaiden, it's about taking risks. Mm-hmm. And who cares if you fail? Because fail only makes you better if you learn. So you go out there and do things. I'm not educated, brother. I didn't graduate high school. I came out here in the early 2000s from Seattle, and I had no car, no job, no license. I don't know what the heck my wife was doing for me. I must have been one skinny, good-looking dude back in the day. Now I got that Mexican cooking and all that kind of stuff. But I've beefed up, and did all that kind of stuff. But in my early 20s, it was just I didn't know what I was doing, and a major thing for me was I really found the Lord. And I went through, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. I never graduated. I have no money. And it was just all this negative stuff, right? And, it was the process of elimination. I tried a business. Okay, great. I tried another business. Okay, great. And I surrounded myself with people that I'm like, okay, in this moment in my life, these people are good. Once those people were bad for me, it's not that I was a jerk or anything like that, but I just moved on.
Yeah.
And God has a way of just kind of pulling us down and taking us on rides and journeys. And being an entrepreneur is like the best journey ever. It's the highs, it's the lows, it's the aha moments, it's I did it moment, it's hey, let me get that little cash, to go out and be able to do things. And I think now that I'm 45, it's like, I'm learning different things. I still make mistakes, but that's the great thing about it is that you're allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And you learn off those mistakes, you move forward, everything like that. Being in the car industry, we're in the luxury business, a car industry. And I'm around a lot of people that do a lot of amazing things, do have a great success in life. And I ask questions. I remember I asked a question to one guy, and he owns 28 restaurants, very successful in Los Angeles. And I asked him, what is the best thing that your dad ever did for you? He could have said money, cars, vacations, everything. Without hesitation, he told me humility. That was powerful to me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, in my brain, I'm thinking money, cars, vacations, all this kind of stuff. And it was simple for him. My dad gave me humility. That's powerful.
Yeah.
So I try to take little bits with whatever conversation, whatever activity that I'm doing and try to say, give this to me. Mm-hmm. I can use this for my life because not everything is going to fit your life, or even my wife's life. But if I could take one little thing and move it forward, then I believe that that's a successful day for me.
Yeah.
So I got a fun life. I go out there and I do a lot of different things. We also have a champagne cart business that, you're doing amazing things with.
A la carte.
Yeah.
A la carte party rentals, baby.
That's right.
So yeah, you guys do it. You guys do it pretty good. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Another thing was, my wife told me the other day is being overwhelmed is a blessing. And I sat back and I'm like, wow, Like, if you think about that, if God gives you so much stuff that you're overwhelmed, don't worry. The blessing, he's going to give you more stuff to be able to handle being overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I feel that myself falls back into that time a lot, being an entrepreneur, being overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, I got too much work. I don't got enough work. I don't, I got this issue over here. But if you sit back and go, God's in control.
Yeah.
That is such a blessing, to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely it's the blessing part of it, but then I also think it's the reality of, especially as an entrepreneur, I mean, even just in people in general, we've all got opportunities to grow, and there's different areas of our life that we've got to progress and we've got to develop and we've got to, get a little sharper. And I always think that too, whenever it's the overwhelmed part, like, yes, let me have the right perspective to see this as a blessing, but then also help me to have the right insight to look inside of myself to say, okay, what is it that I need to do better though, to help alleviate this feeling of being overwhelmed, right? Mm-hmm. The pressures, the weights, the busyness or the craziness or the unorganization, because then that means there's personal things that I need to learn how to develop better, whether if it's managing my time, whether if it's organization, whether if it's like, oh, you know what, maybe I need to start trusting people, or maybe I need to start building up a team of people.
Exactly.
Or understanding that there are people that are in my circle now that I don't have to do this stuff alone anymore. And those are a lot of the things that I'm always reflecting on. I mean, I'm in that process just like you a little bit as well with our business. And it's like I had a lot of changes to start this new year, finished out the year strong. And here we are. It's a new year. It's a new day, and going out on all those different things. And now it's like, all right, how do I take this overwhelm, this good, all these different things, but now how do I retune this so I can find balance again?
Sure.
So.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. You're going to continue to keep on going down a pathway, and we don't know the end, right? Like, so I wish, I mean, that'd be such an amazing thing to be able to see the future and do all that kind of stuff. But I think that's what keeps me like hooked. You know what I mean? Like, if I was in a place of simplicity, I kind of would get bored. You know what I mean? And going out there and I don't know. I literally, I tell my wife this, and I tell myself this every single month. Every month starts at zero. So I literally have to go out there every single month and make that paycheck, make sure that the bills are paid, make sure that, we're able to go see the Seahawk games, and do all that kind of stuff, because I'm a Seahawk freak. I mean, I go out there and I go to games and all the swag and doing all that kind of stuff. And it takes money to do that. And that's what incentivizes me. Hey, I got to go out there and do this. I got to, every single day, I got to wake up. I got to be healthy, not just my health, but my mind, everything like that too. And being around the right people, and I think this new year, I have to position myself to be around amazing people, to be able to push forward, to get good ideas, and move forward in a positive way and in a beneficial way, and vice versa, right? Like if you're around that person, you got to be a positive impact for them as well. Not always in, a downer or anything like that. I try to smile and do as much as I can every single day. And I'm exhausted at nighttime, man. I just go down.
I hear you. I'm the same way. It's like by the time we put our youngest one to bed, it's like, oh, I'm tired. I can go to bed.
Well, that's a lot of energy right there,
that's
too,
a lot
right?
of energy. But it's that part of life. I mean, as an entrepreneur, I think one of the things that I know that I've really grown to appreciate since stepping out into this is the fact that I never know who I'm going to actually cross paths with. This idea, like how you were talking about driving, and you've got somebody who's got 28 different restaurants and like it's if you put yourself out there as far as you stepping out and creating space, hopefully the right things will start to fill those voids. Hopefully the right things start to get pulled in and drawn to you. Like I think of it in a lot of ways. If I can live my life in a healthy way with the right mindset, and we all have our ups and downs, but if I can still maintain the values and who I know that I am and who I need to be, that almost kind of like my life in general creates kind of like this magnetized field where I'm actually pulling other people in, you know, that kind of have some of the same things, or that we can learn how to collaborate together or partner together, not to use one another, but ultimately like to help each other succeed, because we can't do this alone.
No.
You know?
Yeah.
So those are some thoughts that I have on that, but yeah, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think energy is a big thing, you know, and whether it's a good or a bad energy, you know, discern it. You find out, like, maybe that energy might not be good for you, or this situation, you know what I mean? Like, I've always said throughout my whole journey and I remember back in the day, my wife asked me, what was your first business? And I think it was middle school, where I sold the bubblegum lollipops, the Razzles, remember the blue raspberry ones? And I sold them for 25 cents, and then I upped it because I saw I got a lot of people and I was selling for 50 cents. And then I got in trouble. So that was my first, you know, like business and everything like that. And, you know, it was a hustle back then, but I got the taste of, I can buy this and turn it into this. I mean, I've went from that to buying storage units, to being on this little storage show, you know.
Were you one of those ones who went to those auctions?
I was on there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, with Mr.
Storage Wars.
Yeah. I was on there twice, and I know all those great people.
What season? What episode?
I know, because we're going to look for it, and we're going to put it up on the screen. Here, wait, put it up on the screen.
So Garden Grove and Santa Ana, I was on both of them.
Hopefully we can find it.
Okay, no.
Oh my gosh,
I will look and find it.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Wait, how much did you make though? Like, we got to know.
You know, because I wasn't one of those, the quote unquote, I don't want to say characters, but the team that was on there, right? They're not going to show my portion of it. But the last one that I did, out of, I want to say there was 10 units, I bought 8 of the 10 units. And the show's, he's not the producer, but the main guy, Dan, is a great guy, friend of mine. Walks up to me afterwards and goes, well, thanks, Matt. You kind of ruined that for us. And I go, what? And he goes, you bought all the units. He goes, I can't put you on there, you know. You're kind of like the villain, you know, on it, that you're buying it, but they don't show the actual people that are doing that. But it's a fun time. And I think I bought in $20 units and got $2,000, $3,000 worth of stuff.
Okay, what was the nastiest thing you found?
Oh,
in
yeah.
one of those units?
There's just anywhere from drugs to, you know, things that are not adults, or, you know, only adult stuff that are doing it, and just, I mean, food and junk and all that kind of stuff.
You find any with some nasty Cowboys gear in it?
And oh man, jeez. Yeah, those cowgirls, man, you're just
No, they put it in there because of how ashamed they are.
Right?
Like,
I would too.
Losing.
Well, we found that in the trash afterwards. You know, that's right next to the Rand stuff. But that's for another episode. You know, doing all that.
Yeah,
but
2020 doesn't count for them, man.
Right?
So there was a lot in that year.
Yeah.
Cheaters.
Right?
Everything. Every LA team must win.
Yeah.
Anyway, conspiracy. Yes.
Right.
Dude, that's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, I've done everything from here to there, and now I'm in the luxury business. So I went from selling trash to having treasures now, you know.
There you go. I really like what you said about like energy, because there's this whole like thing. It's kind of like aura, right? It's
100%.
like, what kind of aura do you bring? Like, we laugh at it, right? Because it just sounds kind of stupid. But whenever you kind of like get into the room with people, and whenever you kind of like get face to face with people, you can kind of sense sense their energy, like kind of sense what they bring to the table. And I feel like whenever you're like doing what's it called, like storage containers, or you're gonna buy a storage container, you don't really know what's gonna go on. You just kind of like have that feeling, right? You kind of have that like gut feeling. It's gonna be like, okay, well, do I do this or do I do this? And that's kind of how you have to not like judge other people. That's kind of how you have to feel around with other people.
Sure.
Whenever you're like making connections, and whenever you're getting into something, you have to say like, okay, is this the right place for me? And is this the right amount of energy? Is this the right like kind of frequency that I'm on with this person? Erwin McManus has his whole thing about like the 7 frequencies.
7 frequencies, yeah.
And it's so interesting. Like, but he basically talks about like what kind of energy you bring into the room, and what your frequency, or like what your personality has to do with that.
And not even just your personality, but it's how you communicate.
Sure.
You know, and then how pretty much the essence of who you are and how you communicate. And that's like how will people hear you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so not just hearing the audible words that we're saying, but what are they actually feeling? What are the actual things that you're giving off? And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So that's why I love communication stuff. But.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I've always done business to a way that it may not represent that moment right then, but maybe 5 months down the road, year down the road, next week or whatnot. And so I've always literally told people this, that I would rather you come up and give me a hug or a handshake than flip me off.
Dang, we were talking about birds earlier.
We're talking about birds, but I've always said that, you know, it's like,
yeah, no, I hear you.
The way that I conduct myself right now can lead to other things, because I might be out with my wife or my wife and my daughter, you know, that is not so young anymore, you know, but back in the day she was, you know, 8 years old, 10 years old or whatever. And if I conduct myself in a way that send that positive energy, you know, I'm a big hands person, talking, all that kind of stuff, but conduct yourself in a good way where you may be walking down the road and somebody will come up, hey man, I remember you. Mm-hmm. That to me is great business, you know, rather than screw somebody over for $2-3 or $200 or whatever. What is that going to do for you? That's monetary, right? That's a little bit there. But if you can conduct yourself in a good way and people remember you. I was on another podcast and crazy enough, my wife, she gets me into these concerts that, you know, the New Kids on the Block and all that kind of stuff. So I said, hey, babe, you know, I got these free tickets to go out and see New Kids on the Block. And I didn't even get that out of my mouth. And she's like, I'm in, you know? So I'm like, okay, I got to go out and get these tickets now.
Yeah.
So we go out and we're hanging out in the pool before it was at a casino. And another couple got into the pool and they're like, she goes, God, you look familiar. And we're just talking. I'm like, oh, I own a limo company, you know, all this kind of stuff. And she's like, no. She's like, what else do you do? And I'm like, well, we have a champagne cart. And she's like, I seen you before. You were on a podcast. And I'm like, yeah, I was on like this, you know, podcast about photo booths. And she's like, yeah, Photo Booth 101. And I'm like, but just out of nowhere. But can you imagine if I was a lump, you know, and just was like, whatever, you know, type of thing, like that wouldn't have been a positive thing for them. And now they're good friends of ours. So cool. It's a pretty cool thing, you know?
Yeah. I feel like, oh my gosh, man, I keep on forgetting what I'm going to say. What you're talking about, like being an entrepreneur and then like having, like not screwing somebody over for like $200. I think that, with social media right now, it's just like, hey, here's your quick tip, like here's your quick pyramid scheme, here's your quick way to make a couple $1,000s, and it's like go do this to this person, then don't talk to them after. But I think it's so much more important to build up a relationship and to build up strong like marketing, because strong marketing, people look at it as just like greatest ways to make money, greatest ways to run a business. No, but the greatest way to do marketing is to have relationships and is to be approachable. And
100%.
so like be a person, not to be like this like corporate robot, right? You need to be able to walk up to somebody and have a full conversation with them without like, you know, right? Like without 100%. Kind of just like spewing out like, oh, you know, hey, you should go buy this from me, or like, hey, you should go do this.
The salesman.
Yeah, like the sales thing. Because I've met people who like act like great friends at the very beginning, and then they try to get you to buy stuff from them like halfway through the conversation.
Sure.
But I've also met people where like, hey, let's be friends. And then later on, without me even like asking, they're just like, hey, would you be willing to like come and look at this business of mine? Or would you be willing to come and help me with this? Or just, it's about building connections and then kind of like easing into like the kind of business aspect of it. And I really think that people need to realize that the best way to make money and the best way to just get a relationship is to make sure that you keep people coming back.
Absolutely.
Because you're going to make the most, you're going to have the most whenever someone starts coming back again and again.
Well, I think when it comes to communication and it just comes to relationships, period, the majority of people are never going to remember exactly what you say, but they will remember how you made them feel.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one thing. So like, I know personally for me, that's always been a value of mine. I'm a relational guy. I think there's so many things that flow through the avenue and the road of relationship.
Sure.
And one thing I was going to say too, it's kind of funny, where you were talking about, Matt, like you just trying to keep the spirits up and have the right heart, the right attitude, and how you carry yourself. And I think of it this way, and maybe you can let me know your thoughts on it too, but as an entrepreneur, even as a person, like, heck, I want to make money, but that's not my ultimate. That's like one of the benefits of, because I think I just want to be the right character. Because if I can carry myself when I have no money, hopefully I'll carry myself with the same strength, the same conviction, the same value sets with money. But now money is just a tool that I get to use to help who I am, like as far as when I'm showing how I'm helping serve, love people, different things like that. Because as an entrepreneur, right, I mean, there are times when there are people out there who don't have the same value sets, and they want to take advantage.
Sure.
They want to use you. They want to give you the sales pitch, and that's all they're there for. And if you say no, then boom, they're gone and you never hear from them again, or those different things like that. But I feel like in some ways, if you can always maintain who you are, no matter what happens, and stick true to that, stick true to what you value, then you'll make it through the battles and the storms and all the ups and downs that do come with being an entrepreneur, being so relational that it's only a matter of time before you actually get burned.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, I think to kind of touch on both of what you guys were saying is that today with the social media things where you have the quote unquote social media influencers and all that kind of stuff, where you're looking at 5 to 10 to 15 seconds worth of tidbits, right? Oh, well, that person must be happy because they have 1.5 million followers, or that person is driving, that dream car over there, or wearing those Louboutin shoes, or whatever that is. So the perception nowadays, talk what you're talking about, Jaiden, too, is that like we're seeing these 5-second pieces of these people's lives, and do we sit there and be attracted to that, or do we get motivated by that, or what do we do? I mean, we're living in a different age from when you and I, right? We're AOL chat and, the dial-up internet and all that kind of stuff, and I do it like, with the cart business that we have, we're doing, that's something that you and I work on. And it's that 10-second, it's that, can I capture those? But I look at it deeper too, like, what type of a person, are they, all that kind of stuff. I have a pretty famous person that I drive and everything like that. And to see how he is in person makes me just love him. You know what I mean? Like, he has millions upon millions of followers, but he's that person that when he's on camera, and then that person that when he's in the car and we're driving, I'm like, this is cool. This is what I like. This is what I want to model my businesses like, of being that person that if you see me on the camera, or if you see me, just driving by myself down the 5, am I going to be flipping people off or screaming at people, or am I just going to be chilling, kind of in my own world, or doing all that kind of stuff? So social media has a big part on what people and how much, because the people only see what the camera shows them. So if that 5 or 10 second reel doesn't really capture, that person and all that kind of stuff, and we're judged now by how many followers do you have, or how many views do you have, and all that kind of stuff, when you're not really looking at the full picture, in my opinion.
I think we've gotten very attracted to what we see when the lights and the camera are on.
Sure.
And not even just attracted to it. We've been trained just because of what we're seeing and what we're digesting all the time. That's what we think like life is, with the lights and the camera and right. I mean, lights, camera stuff, all that different stuff. Yeah. But in reality, it's once again, it's who are you when the lights are out?
Sure.
Like, who are you in the dark? Who are you when there is no lights, camera, action? And because that's the bottom of the iceberg. That's what's underwater. That's what's beneath the surface. So we're really talking about character. We're really talking about value sets, like who you actually are and how you carry yourself as a person, not just by what people see when everything's magnified.
Exactly. I mean, that's a big thing. I look at it and I always ask myself, what is success? To me, success is not just about money. Of course, you said it perfectly, because I always say money is a tool to be able to do things, right? So if you don't have no money, it's kind of hard, to do it. My father-in-law, before he passed away, the reason why he was so loved with my daughter and everything like that, because it wasn't about the money. It was about going out there and making potato guns, making, things that my daughter just absolutely loved to go out and do with them, because she says, thought that's going to have fun with her. Mm-hmm. That was success for her.
Yeah.
So what is success? Jaiden, what is success to you? Pete, what is success to you? Is it a money thing? Well, money helps, to do it and all that kind of stuff. Without money, we can't buy equipment. We can't buy microphones. We can't go out and buy special lighting, offices like this, and, studios and all that kind of stuff. But I think it's a mixture. It has to be, a mixture of being able to do that, having the tools to be able to do it, then having the idea, the concept, and reality.
Yeah.
To be able to go and do that. It's not, in my opinion, other people can say success, but it's not 1.5 million followers, 10 million followers, 100 million followers, 100 million views. There's benefits of all that, right? Because we can go out and we can get all that kind of stuff. We can get access, we can get tools, we can get and do all that kind of stuff. But I'm kind of a little old school, and just kind of blowing it back, and I'm not scared to pull my sleeves up and get to work and all that kind of stuff. And I feel like today some people are scared of doing that, because if they don't get that magnitude of success, that they have the perception of what they think success is, to going on and doing it. And each one of us are going to have it. And I don't say that there's right or wrong, a way of doing it, a purpose, right? Your guys' is a slogan of doing that. And what's the purpose? What is going to be the purpose moving forward, and what you're going to do? Friends that you choose that you're going to be having in school and in life and all that kind of stuff. And it's okay if people aren't up to your level. That's not a bad thing. And how quickly can we find it and figure that out and move on? Maybe, I always tell people, maybe I'm the reason. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm not the gel that mixes everything together, and that's okay. I'm just not a part of that right now. Maybe it's 10 months down the road, or whatever. So success is a big thing for me, and how you perceive success,
I was thinking about that, and kind of like what we said about, like what you said about like the person that you drive around, like who he is on screen, who he's off screen, and kind of like what you said about like the snippets and everything. We always get so angry whenever our life doesn't turn out like the snippets that we see on social media, and we always like get disappointed whenever. Have you guys heard the saying, like, never meet your heroes, right? Where do you guys think that came from? It came from like the thing of just, you meet your hero for this once in a lifetime thing, and then it's like you're not the same person as you were on the TV.
Sure.
Like you're not the exact same person as you were. Like you're not as happy, and like that's a big thing, is that money doesn't buy happiness.
No.
Money doesn't buy success. Like money is a tool, like you said, and it's a very useful tool. I also think that we need to look at money as not of like an idol, because a lot of people idolize money. I mean, I even have friends who say like, hey, whenever I get older, I'm going to be a millionaire on Wall Street, and I'm going to be trading all these stocks and stuff, and I'm going to be the happiest person on earth. And I'm like, well, I like that idea. And I'm like, that sounds cool. But then also you need to think about it. You need to surround yourself with good people.
Sure.
You need to make sure that, number one, the money that you're making is not dirty money. Like, and you need to make sure that after you make the money, you're not just going to idolize it and use it to go buy like fancy cars and fancy dinners. You need to use it for the people around you, and you need to use it to help people around you.
That's good.
And kind of just like not destroy yourself, but build others up.
Absolutely.
Because people may not enjoy, like, hey, here's some money, go do this, but as humans, it builds us up. Like, even if we don't like it, it still builds us up character-wise and just mental-wise, because we, as humans, are wired to say, like, hey, let me go and help this person, like, no matter what. I've been reading, I love World War II stuff, right? This is a little bit off topic, but I love World War II stuff, and I've been reading about medics, right? Medics in World War II, and like medics in Vietnam, and medics in the recent like war in Iran and all that stuff. And it's just, they would be forced, right? They'd be forced to help both sides. So look, they'd bring in injured Americans, they'd bring in injured Japanese and Germans, and still they would help both sides. They'd keep them as prisoners, of course, but still they would help both sides. Because as humans, we are wired with the greater part in us saying, like, hey, you need to not focus on yourself, but you need to focus on like carrying others and healing others. Right? So I read about all that, and I was like, that's kind of crazy, because I think that sometimes nowadays we can just look at it and say, you know what? If I was in that situation, I'm not helping anybody except for myself, because we've become so selfish with just what I want and no one else gets.
That's the easy way out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
We'd rather take the short road.
Sure.
Than the long, arduous one, which has bigger rewards at the end.
Yeah.
But we'd rather just take the quick way out, like the quick scam that I mentioned earlier, like the pyramid schemes, like, hey, make $200 off someone, then just leave. Like, we would rather take the easy way out because we're not willing to put in the work, and we're not willing to kind of like look it all over and just say, how will this help me in the long run?
Yeah, I think that's really positive too, because, you know, unfortunately, I don't have my mom or my dad anymore. I lost both my mom and dad by the time that I was 40. That's a part of my why, my purpose, and all that kind of stuff, is just to be things. And one thing that my dad taught me growing up, you know, I mean, I grew up in my young years in a pretty rough area in Washington State, and the lifestyle that my dad did, to kind of pivot on that too. Not all money is good money. And that's one thing that I learned at a really young age. I had a dad that was such an amazing person. But my dad had bad habits. My dad didn't make honest money during, portions of his life and all that kind of stuff. And there, you know, with seeing that and growing up and doing that, and a mom that just loved to know other, that was one of the best moms that I could ever ask for, best friend, you know, everything. She had me at 17 years old. Yeah. And she kind of just stood back because my dad was making tons of money doing dirty money, you know, and to seeing that is basically what I saw. Okay, this is not the way that I'm going to live my life, you know, but I took, going back to the beginning, I took as, I'm going to learn something from this. My dad was a hard worker. My dad loved people, but didn't have the right way of showing people that he loved people. But he sold things that he shouldn't sell, and, you know, all that crazy things back then. But that's why I know too, not all money is a great thing. And I know that once certain things come, I can kind of discern things now pretty quickly. Okay, this is not good. I'll go down it a little bit and go, yeah, maybe this isn't good. But I always say nothing good happens after midnight. You know what I mean? Like in my business, you know, people are going to be out partying. To each his own. Yeah. You know, all that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong. I like to go out and have fun and, you know, do all that kind of stuff, but not all money is good money, you know, and there's just so many different ways. I think that you're so lucky, Jaiden, right now, that there's so many fun ways, podcasts, you can go out there, social media that you can go out there and make money. My thing is flipping stuff and you know, and really putting me on the edge of where almost we're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but heck, I'm going to try to do it anyways, you know, and do all that kind of stuff. But today's age is a really, really cool age that you don't necessarily have to have a degree. No, I'm not saying don't get your education or anything like that, but it's a really cool time. You got an amazing dad and mom that are there and family behind you, you know, where you can go out and do a lot of different things. You know, I mean, social media, heck, look at YouTube, what you could do with YouTube. I mean, the monetization of YouTube, I mean, people are making, you know, there's the guy, Mr. Beast or whatever. He
has his own Amazon TV show now.
I mean, insane.
He started off 8 years ago, just making small videos, and now he's one of the richest people.
He's going to be the first billionaire on YouTube.
Yeah.
Off of YouTube, I should say.
It's insane.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot of fun, different things. I'm really encouraged. I mean, to be able to go out there and learn, you know, and do all this kind of stuff. I never thought podcasts or anything like that. Now I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, whatever, you know. I mean, this is fun stuff, but we're at such a day now that you can go out there and you can do stuff, position yourself, you know, and don't just, one thing that COVID taught me, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, facts.
You know, and go out there, have fun, go out and do it, but make sure that it's right for you. You know, it may not, what's right for you may not be right for me.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, and do all that too. So.
Yeah. Love that. Love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So Jaiden, you asked me, what's your dream team?
Eagles?
Eagles.
Oh man, I gotta think about this.
You can't steal my boy, Walter Thurman.
I know. Probably I want 2018, 2017 Eagles. I want that team again. Just as we had Nick Foles, Carson Wentz, we had man, this is really testing. I don't remember all the players.
Jason Kelce?
Yeah, no, we had Jason Kelce, best center in the history of the NFL. Arguably the best center in the history of any.
I would say so for sure. Yeah.
Probably give us back. Oh my gosh, man, I don't remember any of the players anymore. Oh my gosh,
from that squad.
Yeah, from that squad.
Oh jeez.
We had
we had LeGarrette Blount.
Yes, we did.
We had Jay Ajayi, the running back from Miami, who ended up showing up and playing lights out. Corey Clement. You know, you had quite a few guys, dude. That was the team back then, man, for sure.
So you wouldn't take was it Michael Vick?
Michael Vick was pretty good, but he
you
wasn't
got Michael Vick. I mean, you got Michael Vick.
Yeah.
I got Donovan McNabb.
McNabb was such a great quarterback.
For me, I would always have Brian Dawkins. Gotta have Weapon X. The man who would pray for you in tongues while he'd be knocking your lights out. I love the dude. And for those of you who don't know tongues, it's all good. But anyway.
Yeah, you better be careful and clarify what tongue you're talking.
Yeah. But dude, I mean, I got my squad, but so you would do the 17-18 Eagles, huh?
Yeah, because we had
well, you were young though, dude. That was you were 7, 6, 7.
I know, I was 7, but that's the team that I remember. I don't remember all their names, but I remember the crazy plays that we had. I remember watching them make those insane field goals. I remember watching that one run. Yeah, no, I remember watching that one run that our one running back had, the guy that you were talking about, Miami player.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that one run that he had.
We had Alshon Jeffrey.
Yes.
You had Torrey Smith from Baltimore.
Did you have a safety?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had Malcolm Jenkins. He was the man.
Dude, he was crazy.
From New Orleans. So, yeah. But, it's cool. I actually get to, because I remember the first Super Bowl that I watched with the Eagles in 2004 when they lost to the freaking Patriots.
Hey, but we came back and beat them, though.
By field goal. And
sounds like a Chiefs game.
No, it was a crazy game. Oh, no. Well, anyway. But I remember watching that, and then when they went to this one, my wife, I think it's still on Instagram, on her Instagram. She's got a whole reels, a whole stories documentation of me throughout the whole entire Super Bowl of just different clips, and
so funny.
it's hilarious.
Because
man,
you see him.
I've gotten better though. I used to cry back in the day, dude. I was such a.
Well, that's just real fandom though.
Oh yeah.
That's crying is not running at the 2-yard line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's just, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We had a Super Bowl party and all the friends and everything at the house. And I'm sitting there, hands on my knees we're going back to back, you know, and I just see it
first down. And it was a first down, right?
Second down and 2.
Yeah.
And you have arguably one of the best, you know, 2-yard run guy in the history of football, Marshawn Lynch, and we're sitting there.
You had the man.
Yeah, and it's just, oh my gosh! My wife bought me a Russell Wilson bobblehead, and I'm sitting there and I'm in my front room and I see him cock back his arm and I'm like, no, you know, like, and I see it in slow motion and I threw it down on the ground as soon as I see it and his head goes ping, ping, ping all over.
It's like, you gotta be kidding.
I didn't watch TV for 2 weeks after that. You know, I'm like, nope, nobody talked to me, nobody do anything like that. I actually had on a podcast that we help out with, you know, I had the opportunity to talk to KJ Wright about it. And that's what I asked him. I said, KJ, if we run the ball, are we a dynasty? And I believe his answer was, if we run the ball, we have 3 or 4 championships, because nobody would have left. We had the Legion of Boom in there. We had Russell in there. We had everybody intact, you know, to win 2 or 3 more Super Bowls. And I truly believe it. And, you know, seeing all that kind of stuff, in my opinion, Pete Carroll is one of the best head coaches, you know, as far as a rah-rah guy and players coach, you know.
Yeah,
doing all that kind of stuff.
Cool guy as well.
Like, amazing
guy. His heart for the game. What I've seen is just like that's a really cool coach, and now I think that this is like one of the best era for coaching.
Sure. That
we have, because we have like people like Dan Campbell, Nick Sirianni, and just like a few others. But it's
even the guy that you guys have now from Seahawks. He's pretty. I like his personality too, man. He's like, I don't care. They did somebody's like, yeah, these players may not know what movies or references or quotes that I'm doing, but I'm still using them anyway.
Oh yeah, no, your new guy's funny.
Well, here's the thing: we go from the oldest coach to the youngest coach. You know, like in the league and everything like that. It's definitely going to be interesting, you know, to see how it goes out. But he's a strong defense, a minded coach. I'm really excited about it, you know, and our defense is young.
Yeah.
So, you know, let's lock in and lock these guys into, you know, some serious deals. But there's some stupid money being spent. I was watching a thing now, $50 and $60 million for quarterbacks. Like, I get it. I mean, they're what's driving the team for the most part. But it's a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Well, the player salary caps are a whole lot higher for the teams now. So
yeah.
I mean, but yeah, no, I get it. You know, speaking of which, though, it'd be hilarious to really look at as far as tenure. I mean, there have been some players, coaches, but I think the teams that have coaches, of course, I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out, I'm going to get myself in trouble with saying it, but there's something unique to be said about those teams that have player-focused type coaches, though. As far as the tenure, as far as the success. I mean, you've got guys like Mike Tomlin.
Sure.
Freaking Pittsburgh. Been there.
Yeah. Never had a losing season. I mean, freaking revitalized Russell Wilson. Like, because that man I thought he was tanked after the last couple teams that he was with. But it was like. Russell's biggest issue was being that separate person. Mm-hmm. Being on the field, Russell, and being off the field. In the beginning, Russell, Children's Hospital.
Oh, yeah.
All that kind of stuff. And I think he got Hollywood and, you know, started doing a lot of stuff, too much going on. But I think a large part in any sports athlete hears me saying this, but you're getting paid too much money. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, let's go to incentivizing you. If you do this, you will make this.
Yeah.
And, you know, because they're making business decisions now too, right? Mm-hmm. They're not going to hit in a certain way. They're, you know, not going to lay out for this ball or do whatever. And I think that kind of steals a little bit from the fan.
Yeah.
You know,
really
but
so no, it's not really football anymore.
It's two-hand touch.
Yeah, basically. It's kind of like, hey, don't hit the quarterback that way.
Right.
It's like, you're going to get kicked out of the game. It's like, oh, no, wait, you can't dive like that. You're going to get kicked out of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't jump like that either. You're going to get kicked out of the game. Because, like, it's kind of become a money thing.
Sure.
Because I've watched some old film of, like, football in the 90s and the early 2000s, 2010.
They didn't know better than some of them either, though.
Oh, my gosh.
You think Reggie
So
White,
funny.
what would he have done during this? You know, like,
Oh man, dude, just like watching him like fly through the air, like
Yeah.
tackling guys, or
And
like
that's why I
you
love
see-
Brian Dawkins. That man was freaking
Dude, did you-
flying
I
everywhere.
watched an old video of Brian Dawkins where he like came up behind one of the dudes, like picked him up and like tossed him down, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, if you see something like that now, like that looks like a high school,
yeah.
college play now, because like that's what high schoolers and college
Sure.
players are doing. But like if he would have done that now, it would have been like, yeah, no, Brian Dawkins got fined this much money for an illegal tackle.
personal foul.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that like, I mean, this money's big money, you know.
Yeah, no.
Our friend Dave talks about, you know, from what he was paid to what league minimum is now, and it's like stupid difference, you know, like
big difference.
we're talking pennies on the dollar to millions, you know, I mean, multi-millions of dollars. And that's where the business decision comes in, you know, hey, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to practice. I'm not going to do, you know, something, everything like that. And I think that's why I like DK Metcalf. The kid's 25, 26 years old and doesn't care. I mean, he comes out and says, what do you have for breakfast? And he's like, well, yeah, I had some candy and, you know, and I went and ate this and then went and had a coffee or did something like this. And then they're like, well, when are you eating regular food? And this guy's a man of a man. You know, I mean, this guy is a beast, you know.
Big dude, like buff, just scary.
Yeah, he's hopefully we keep him, but and he keeps healthy. That's the problem when you have big people like Megatron. You know, I mean, he's little Megatron. In my opinion, he's creating his own pathway for himself. But you know, it comes down to making that money. You know, and is it going to be a tool like we talked about, or is it going to be an asset, or what? You know, I mean, these people are making stupid money right now,
and they don't know what to do with it. So like whenever you see players kind of like man, I'm forgetting all like the names, but like we've had a lot of player drama this year with like players not going to practice, players faking injuries to get out of teams, or players saying, hey, you know what, I'm not going to go today, or like I want to go back to this team, or I want to do this.
Not our teams though. Our teams have been pretty good.
Yeah, no, our teams, our teams are the greatest.
This year.
Yeah, no, we've been good.
Yeah. No, but like I've just seen it. I'm kind of like, so they're getting paid this much money so that they can do this, and they don't really care because they're getting paid so much money. And it's not like hey, you're cut from the team, so now you don't get the money anymore. It's like, hey, yeah, we signed you up for this contract, so if you quit this year, that means you're still going to get the money that you were promised for this year. And it's kind of just like a person that doesn't even play football very well could go into the NFL, get a stupid crazy contract, and then just leave.
Oh,
Like-
look at I mean, baseball is the number one thing, you know. I mean, seeing all these baseball, I grew up traveling with Major League Baseball and doing all that kind of stuff, and it's one of my many things that I've been involved with, you know, and to see it. And I remember I grew up with not grew up with him, but I hung out with Alex Rodriguez.
Okay.
And when he was in Seattle and all that kind of stuff, so I was with him when he got his first $252 million. Can you imagine? I mean, just
Back in
going
the
all
day,
of a
that
sudden.
was a
So
while ago.
252 million when he went with Texas. I think it was $1 or $2 million more than what they paid for the team.
That's insane.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it inflects. And that's when, if you look at it, people go and have the lotteries, you know, win the lottery and then become broke. These basketball or athlete players, they all of a sudden get there and they get to a point and it's like, okay, I got this influx of money. Everybody knows who I am. I'm famous. I'm rich. What else is there to do?
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. I don't know. I can never put myself in that position. I don't have that type of money yet. You know, again, it's a tool, right? I'm not sitting there trying to lust over the money or anything like that, but hey, that's why we work hard, right? To go. But I can't imagine these people or quote unquote famous or whatever, you know, and see people. I go back to a certain individual that I drive and everything like that. And he's the same person. He's the most humble, genuine, most giving person that you'll be. That's the person that I want to be, you know, and going out and doing stuff like that. I mean, a fame or whatever. It's not that I'm trying to be famous or trying to do anything like that, but the money's out there. Opportunities are out there. what do you want to go do? What do you want to be when you grow up? I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I'm 45 years old, I just want to be happy, whatever the happy is and whatever I find my success to be.
Yeah. I love that.
That's so good. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen stuff. It's like, when I grow up, I just want to be happy. And
Right.
like, that's such a powerful thing, because we can like look at it now, and we can like look at like depression rates and just like rates of all of this stuff. And it's like not like all we need to do, because I'm not going to put down depression or anything like that, because it's serious and it's like a problem. But the thing that we need to do is we need to be grateful for what we have, because if we continue to strive for the things that we don't have, we're never going to feel good enough. We're never going to feel like we're always going to feel like we're still at the bottom of the ladder, even though we may have already reached the top, which is like some of the things with some athletes. Like, that's why some athletes or some like famous people commit suicide.
Sure.
Because they're at the top. They just don't know how to climb back down.
Right.
Like, they don't know how to kind of ease out of what they're doing. They've kind of like gotten so like hooked into what they're doing that they can't really say like, all right, well, I'm going to have to let go now. It's kind of like, yeah, it's just really sad, because
I think to kind of piggyback on that, where I see myself right now is trying to find a balance.
Yeah.
With my marriage, with, just me in my businesses, to friendships, all that kind of stuff as well, to find that happy balance, to what works for me. Again, my balance may not be your balance or your balance or anything like that, but to kind of go back within being that entrepreneur, where I want to go and do. I keep on harping on the success, right? Because where my success is, hey man, I want to be able to make enough money to go see the Seahawks, to do all that kind of stuff. Because I travel to Major League Baseball. I've been to thousands upon thousands of baseball games, and right now sports is football for me, and being able to do all that kind of stuff. But being able to put yourself in a position that you can go and do that and find that balance, that you don't have that, because things that I've noticed in, with meeting celebrities and working with them and doing, and athletes and all that kind of stuff is, you're right. They go clear up here. And once they start going click, 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 they're like, uh-oh, what's going on? You have all these people, these unfortunates, I don't want to say names or anything like that to put bad things out by them, but you have these people that were just at the monster of their career. And then all of a sudden the camera's not on them and they only come on them for bad times. Mm-hmm. That's what I never want. I never want that. I want to have that balance of being able to move forward, to click, to be with positive people around me. And I've seen it in my life and seen it in my profession. The people that you surround yourself with are the most important people that you should ever be in your life. Yeah. Because those are the people that you should trust. Those are the people that you should love and do things for, like you were saying earlier, right? To, how can I choose my clique? And I've always heard that in my life, but to find it more important now in my life, because there's probably a lot more or less years ahead of me than there are behind me now, less, so moving forward, it's more important to find those people that trust and that balance.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think, who we, deep down inside, like, if you strip away everything else, we're all human. Mm-hmm. And so whether if it's titles or accolades and stuff that we earn, or if it's stuff that we've been given, even if it's not by choice, like when you take all of those things away, we're all people. And so how do we define ourselves? How do we see ourselves? Who do we believe about what do we believe about ourselves? Like, those are the things that matter. And people are a gift. Relationships are a gift. And, we've got to, we can't use people as commodities, but we have to understand that everybody in their own way, they are their own person. And if I'm for a season or for a lifetime gifted with the opportunity to be in a relationship with that person or to spend time, no matter how long it may be, like, it's a gift.
Yeah.
And I definitely, I loved how we've, kind of talked about all that today and in different facets and stuff like that, that no matter what we find ourselves doing, no matter what, maybe for you guys who are watching or listening, whatever you find yourself doing, where do people fit for you? Like, where do they sit, in your value set? Are they a commodity? Are they a tool? Or are they something that's actually to be valued and taken as precious,
Yeah.
Because I think of it this way, because I love serving and living a life with gratitude and all that type of stuff. And I think that for all of us in life, it's all about serving. It's all about other people and ourselves, because you and I, even Jaiden, like, we didn't make it this far in life without somebody else going out of their way to love and serve us and to help us and to spend time with us. And I think it's the same exact thing, and so in that process, right, we've got some really great things. I know, especially as we are in the new year and jumping through all these different things, what an amazing time and a privilege that we have to start maybe some things fresh, or to keep adding fuel to the fire of things that we value and we prioritize and that have become part of our purpose. And so that's what I want to challenge you guys, for those of you who are watching or listening, who are people to you? What are they to you? Are they a person or are they a thing? And figure out a way how you can actually live your life in such a way and continue to give back, to actually value people more than just a commodity or a thing. And maybe even for yourself, to value yourself, that you're not just a tool or just a object, that you are a person. And guess what? You deserve to actually be invested in. You deserve to actually let go and say, you know what? I need time to invest in myself, or whatever. So I don't know. Those are some things that I take away from today and just our conversation and all that good stuff. What about you, bud?
I really like that. I just feel like it's so important that each and every single one of us, we have our people that we do the things we do for. Like you said, you do it for your wife, you do it for your kid, and you do it for us, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like I just think that a big thing is, before we start doing all these things, like before we go out and say, you know what, I want to be like this millionaire, or I want to be this successful person, find out why. Because the happiest people that I know, and like the most successful people that I know, always have a why to start off their entire thing. You can't write a story without a why. You can't write like a message without a why. Like you can't, you need to find your why. You need to find your why before you go out and try to do things, because that's the most important thing that will define you no matter what, because that's the only question you're going to get asked after you like reach the top.
Yeah, I think it's important too, is to be you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God made us individuals, and we're all different. Our DNA is different. Our mannerisms are different, but just go out there, just find an opportunity to be you, meet somebody different, new, jump out there, get uncomfortable, and that purpose. I love that for you guys, that purpose, and find out your why and be an individual. I mean, I think that in my success is what's made me different is me.
Yep.
I don't do things traditionally.
Yeah.
I don't do things by the book. Yeah. Maybe it's because I don't know how to, but I don't have that. But find you, be an individual, and it doesn't matter what people think about you. Yeah. It's what you think about yourself, your family, your good people around you. And this is a great year. I mean, it's going to be a great year, right? So start the year off great. Yeah. Continue to go and find somebody just to love. Yeah. I think that's what's missing in this world big time is love, compassion. Who cares about all the other garbage? Mm-hmm. What you think, what I think. Find somebody to love. Be you. Be different. Be unique.
Love it.
Amen.
Love it. Awesome. Well, I think that's a wrap, man.
That was
so
awesome.
Great. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. Leave us some of your thoughts, love in the chat, comments, share, all that good stuff. Follow us at purposedepartment.com.
We need a part 2 now.
Huh?
Let's do it.
Oh yeah, we'll have to. We'll get you back, Matt. Nice. So, but love you guys. Thanks so much for joining us. So, Jay, you want to take it?
Thank you for staying with us as we go through this whole entire journey of just really in-depth talks just about what it means to find your purpose and how other people have found their purpose and just what it means to be human. So, thank you, Matt, for joining us today.
Thank you guys so much.
This is Purpose Department signing off. See you next time.